see behind me, or what I'm looking at, is a 2009, or it could be 8 or whatever the sticker was in the door jamb. I said 2008, but it was in the last quarter, so it could be 2009, but it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Nissan Altima 2.5, and on this one I'm going to be removing and replacing the catalytic converter that's integrated with the exhaust manifold. So if you don't know what you have or what's what, the catalytic, let me say it again, the catalytic converter and the exhaust manifold is integrated together, so that means it come both together as one piece. So that's what we're going to be doing. Simple tools you're going to be using. I'm going to be using my electric 3/8 impact ratchet. That's what I'm going to be using. A couple of things, you're probably going to need some hex tools or Allen sockets or whatever how you want to call it, to remove some bolts to get this top engine cover off. We're going to remove this. We got the exhaust shield. We got the alternator that's going to be removed. And a few other things I might have to do from the bottom, like, well, I gotta get down there and get that belt loose, right? So we gotta see whatever it is, I gotta get to the tensioner, what I gotta do. I'm not gonna do too much chit-chatting, but I will recall everything that I take off. I might not show you how to get it back together, but I will show you how to take it out. And you always remember that when you remove a part, the installation process, you go backwards. You got a problem in the video, you rewind the video back and you find out where you had messed up at. So I'm Leekautorepair. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you guys follow me, my crazy ass, on Instagram. I'm always doing crazy shit on there. I do got a TikTok now. Make sure you guys follow me on those platforms. So Leekautorepair, same thing as my YouTube, same thing as my Instagram. TikTok is the same as well. So that's that. One thing that was a plus for me was that the owner supplied her parts, which usually I don't like, because it's just getting me confusing sometimes. But if you don't have a problem ordering your own parts and you can get the parts right, and I feel confident that you do it every time, or if you need help or whatever, figure it out. I just don't want you to order the wrong parts, so sometimes it's just best to let me do it. So in this box we got hardware such as the intake manifold gasket, which is the long part right here, and we got a crush gasket that goes at the bottom for where the bottom of the catalytic converter slash manifold meets up with the Y pipe itself, or down pipe, or whatever you want to call it. Then we got bolts, little bracket, and some screw-in studs, which is good. And now we have the part, which I am going to open just so we can do a verification process. We're going to make sure these parts are correct before we install them. The brand, I'm not like in charge of that, or I don't know, that's not my department. Literally there was nothing else in this box stating like company wide, so wherever she got it from, that's where she got it from. Doesn't matter to me, I'm going to install a part. That's my job. And this is what it looks like. When I say exhaust manifold integrated was welded, you can see the weld point right here. Then you have a catalytic converter, which may look smaller than the one you have on the car. If it does, could mean something. It could not mean anything. At the end of the day, this is a catalytic converter. Look like a 3-way catalytic converter, whatever how they want to call it. And got the honeycomb on the inside. I'm not going to dwell on this too much. Like, you see points where you can screw in those 10mm nuts that they put in the kit for you to screw on the heat shield. So here, and then the shield for at the bottom. So. And this is where we're going to put our crush gasket. So I'm done talking. Let's get to work. First things first, I'm going to be getting some plastics out the way. Like I said, I'm going to get this top engine cover off. So whoever put these bolts in, they didn't put the correct one. So we're going to take the hex style out right here. And I like to put them up in a cow in a group area. Then I'm going to take 10mm with the unnecessary lengthy extension. I'm going to get here as well. So if you don't have the original bolts, it don't matter if you mix them up, as long as they thread in, that's all that matters. Let's get this shield moved out the way. You go put it over here if you want to. Next, we're gonna get this off. Now you can go whatever order you want to go in, that's totally up to you. Whoever put this in, they put like a carpenter screw. Whatever, I go see if I can match one up in here to replace that one. So that's fine. Let's stick this up here. Group those bolts together, and I don't know if I mentioned, I probably did with me forgetting everything. You can go in any order you want to go. usually I just call stuff out and just go from there. Someone already broke the bracket for this reservoir, but that's cool. So look like that it need to come off anyway. I don't know why I took that out, but I'll put it up there, and we can get this off to the side. I'll actually just sit that right there for now until I figure out a good place, or I'll remove it completely, clamp it off, and then get it out my way. Either way, I'll sit it down right here. Let's get this tire off. Shake down, make sure the wheel is tight, because if it's loose, then we gotta report that. So for not charging up my lights, I gotta deal with this the light from the jump pack, and I gotta charge up my my 2 lights. It's not a problem, I can keep proceeding, as long as you can see what it is I'm doing. So I'm gonna take off this shield. Obviously it's lacking. Wherever it is, I guess it's already somewhat broke, so came off just like that without a problem. So I set that over to the side, and I probably have to zip that back on. So I'm going to be taking off the drive belt that's in here. I can get to the tensioner without a problem. So this part is going to be a little tricky for you. You won't be able to see. I'll try to get a picture for you. But if you see where I'm pointing my finger at, that's the nut for the tensioner. It might not look like a tensioner, but it is. It's just deep. For me, it was better to get in here with a double wrench setup, where 1 second, where wait, keep you coming. Where I lock the head, or at least to open a part of the wrench onto the other wrench, is a different way I do it. And use that as leverage. I got that from another mechanic when I was younger that always like helped me out. So I'm gonna go the opposite way and should be able to. Actually, I'm putting tension on. I'm going the wrong way. That was my bad. You'll know when you get to that point. You'll be like, well, I can't do what I need to do. But I'll put this on first. And then let's see if I can get it. Here we go. So once you get it to go opposite direction, just grab it off the pulley itself. It's just easier. And if you want to leave the wrench on there, you cool, because that'll just help me get things back on when I'm done anyway. So now I got enough clearance to work off the belt off the alternator itself. So that's a good thing. So because my light is dead, it's going to be hard for me to get really like detailed with you. So make sure you disconnect your battery, at least the negative cable at this part, because we're going to be removing the alternator. Why? Because you'll be able to get to the exhaust manifold bolt. So we're going to start with that. This coolant reservoir is going to be annoying. You're going to leak fluid like how I'm doing. So however you want to move it out the way, it's your preference. For me, I don't care. So at least for now, I'll leave this off to the side. It is annoying. It will fall all types of way because it's annoying. There's 2 bolts on the alternator. You have one where I'm flashing the light, so I'm going to go ahead and tap my finger on my hands right here. Then there's 1 bolt right here, and it looks like 14 millimeter. That long bolt might be a little pain coming out, but it looks like you got enough room. Once you probably just start wiggling it out. I want to remove the power cable off here, and then there's a connector. Looks like that was like damaged. So one thing I got to do is just push that up, and then get the alternator out, and then we're gonna get it cracking. The second bolt, the long one, which came out good, I was expecting for it to give me a problem, and then should be able to wedge this up and move that out the way. We'll probably leave it there for now, and I can reroute this and have it sit here and not in my way, so that's good. So now I have room. Hey, you can go whatever order you want to go. clearly my order is weird. And be mindful that the A will break. So if they break, don't be mad about it. So these came off without a problem. I'll set that up in there. And then there's one more which is long, so I'll step down in size and see if I can get it in. And that seems to be already spinning on its own, so I don't know if it's probably broke. And I don't believe we have anymore, so now I'm gonna figure out how to finesse this out, because this bolt is, I don't know. Here we go, I got it. I had to pull on it while I was, I don't know, let's set that in there for now. Let's get the shield out. Oh, what else is in my way? There we go. And let's put this on the ground. Alright, so now we got the exhaust manifold, and I am going to disconnect this connector for the oxygen dispenser, because that's what I want to do. If I can get this tab, which is a pain to remove, so it looks like I'll just remove it as is. So let's get a wrench. Now the O2 sensor, you won't be able to see it from my view, but use your imagination, because it's literally right here. So you should be thankful that I'm showing you how to do this job in the first place. I ain't gonna sit there. It ain't like you putting money in my pocket anyway. So just be thankful for watching. Sometimes you gotta use your imagination a little bit. Now, next, it looked like there should be a bracket at the bottom, but I can see it. It don't even look like nothing's connected to the bracket, and the bracket is broke. There's a bracket for the exhaust, so at least I guess they gave me that in the kit to install, but really they ain't need it. But we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nuts to take off the exhaust manifold, so that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. And they are 14 millimeters. So if you want to go ahead and spray it down with something, which I'm going to go do with PB Blaster, hit it real good, a couple areas like bam. Now I know you want to say that there's a leak. Obviously I can't worry about that. I can only address it, which I am going to send some evidence to the owner and let her know your valve cover gasket is leaking, and probably go around the engine and see what else is leaking. And probably the timing cover is leaking, oil pan probably leaking. She's got leaks, but she has to start somewhere, and I would say the valve cover gaskets and the spark plug, at least the tube cells. So I'm going to get this set up, and I'm going to go by hand. And then these were already loose. I did not take this off, so you already saw this by hand. I didn't have to struggle. So whoever was in here once upon a time ago didn't put this back together, and could be the reason for a lot of things, which I have no idea. For one, I just was asked to install it, so that's what I'm doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I just freed it up. And why did it come free? Because there was a bracket at the bottom that looked like already rusted out. So can't worry about that for now. So now this came free. So the only thing I got to do now is go underneath the cart and separate it from the pipe. So let me get this jacked up from the front. And this looked like this was replaced once upon a time ago, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's something with this engine where it's probably going to burn out another cat again, or destroy another cat, is what I'm saying, because of the condition and the way it runs. And if your engine runs like shit, constant misfiring and not taking care of it, yes, you can go through a catalytic converter in a short period. And it looked like this would already happen. This looked like this was replaced before, so I can't argue. I'm not going to get into it. I just got to put another one in there. Wanted to show you, but at the end of the day, there's only so much I can do underneath a car that's dark, and at the same time, it's just, you should be lucky I got a goddamn view for you. God damn it, I'm explaining myself to y'all for. Pull goddamn manifold straight up. It comes straight up just like that. No need to keep on talking about it. Let's get this on the floor, and I want to swap over the heat shield that's on there onto the new one, and get this circular gasket. Everything itself is like explanatory. No need to sit there and try to like be confused what's what. If you saw me do it this way, then clearly that means you're capable of doing it on your own. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to like play with nobody intelligence or nothing like that, but this job is self-explanatory. I can argue because it's been out before, but in your case it shouldn't be as hard. I mean, if you got, really comes down to having tools, and this is the crush gasket I was telling you about. We're going to replace that, put another one on, and let's get this other exhaust manifold gasket. I want to clean this surface up, wipe it down, because it just, we're going to address this oil leak. So I want to show her this video as soon as it's done, and I ain't going to edit it. I hope you guys can see. Probably can't. I have to do the best that I can. So I'm working with the bolts underneath the downpipe part, at least the flux pipe. 14 millimeter. When we talk about it, that came out full with the nut and washer. There are 3, so I know you don't need me to show you exactly, but it is in a triangular pattern. So I'll take this one right here, and it should be one more. I can't see this side, so I gotta do this with my eyes closed in 2 hands basically. Looks like that was already loose as well, so and get this on the ground. And it looked like we completely free, so I could pull the exhaust manifold up from the top now. I didn't forget about you. I got a view for you. So here's the flange for it. This triangle pattern. As you can see, this is a stud style. Must be replaced because clearly I could back these off. And there's one right here, another one on the other side. And that was a washer that fell. And now I can just pull the catalytic converter / manifold straight up directly from the top. So that's what I want to do right